take a seat, and welcome to the sit down. Welcome to episode 5 of the sit down. Wherever you're at, wherever you're listening, tuning in from today, take a seat and let's sit down and chat. I'm excited that our guys are back here for episode 5. It should be a good episode today. Had our first guest on last episode and really good. I hope you go back, and if you haven't listened to episode 4 yet with Bubba Schwager, you absolutely should. This isn't, when we're recording right now, this isn't actually the day, but when this gets released, it's gonna be my birthday. So happy birthday to me. 28 years old. When I think of number 28, the first thing that comes to mind is Adrian Peterson, number 28. What could have been? They should have won the Super Bowl in 2009. So all my Vikings fans, I'm with you. But age 28, I feel like I'm on the back half of my 20s now. That might be the biggest difference in like a age decade. You know what I mean? Like your first half of your 30s to your second half of your 30s, you're probably in like your parenting mode for a lot of people. 40s, big career, right? You're probably maybe still in the parenting mode, but like your early 20s, think about what you were doing in your early 20s. I know what I was doing. Now think about what you're doing in your late 20s. I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is a completely different life that I'm living. So it's been a great year though. When I look back on year 27 of my life, I will see a lot of goodness. And so I'm very thankful for the people in my life, including some of the people that are in this room right now. So happy birthday to me. It's been a great year, and here's to another good year. But let's get in a little bit to what we want to talk about today. The number one thing that I want to talk about is I got a new wheelchair, new wheels, and I want to show you guys. It might not be super significant to you, but it is significant to me. So Garrett, I need you to push over my wheelchair for me, and I'm gonna show off the. Oh my goodness, this thing is pretty. Yes, thank you, sir. So we got the new wheelchair, and I'll let the cameraman get the angles that they want and make sure we're getting this thing in the right light. But it is pretty, so pretty. For those that are listening to it, you're not going to get much out of this, but if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, take a look at this. This is a Tylite. Number one thing we need to know about Tylites is these things are American made. So I did have a Canadian made chair before, and I'm going with the Tylite American made. It is blacked out. It won't be blacked out forever because this thing will get scraped up. But this is pretty nice. This is an ultralight wheelchair. It's made out of aluminum. So someday I'll get a titanium wheelchair or like a carbon fiber wheelchair, but insurance doesn't cover those. So insurance helped me out with this, but this is an aluminum wheelchair. You get a new wheelchair every 5 years. Insurance will cover one every 5 years. I kind of want to just go over like some of the differences from my old wheelchair to my new wheelchair. So Gary, if you want to pass my old wheelchair, it's right behind you. If you want to bring that up here, I'll show some of the main differences. This is a rigid frame wheelchair, and so these don't collapse. Like a lot of them, I think like a lot of Uber drivers. Yeah, you just bring this thing right in front of me. A lot of Uber drivers, they'll be like, all right, so do you pull the middle of the seat and then it'll fold up. No, that's not how these are built. These are rigid frame wheelchairs, so they're way more sturdy, and they're going to be really light too. You're not going to have the big box and a bunch of jumbo stuff below where you sit. These things, the backrests fold down on them, but they don't fold up. And so this is my old wheelchair, and you might say, okay, they look kind of similar, but a couple of differences that you're going to see. From this over here. The first thing is you're going to see on these bars right here, they're straight, right? So this was my first chair that I had. This is my old one. And we didn't really know like how my legs were going to adjust and shift and where my feet were going to slide. And so it gave me a lot more room between where my legs sit. And on my new wheelchair, I think the best way for you to see this is maybe if I just toss this to you, Garrett. If we come to the side view here towards Anno, you can kind of see now we have a taper where my legs are. So that brings us in, a solid inch on each side, and it just allows for better maneuverability. When you're getting through tight spaces, it just makes you more compact. And so that was really nice. I think it looks clean too. When I'm sitting in it, kind of makes things look more neat. The other big change is, well, two big changes. Is number one, the back rest and how that folds down. This now has a bar, so Tylite does it a little bit different. They have this bar right here, and how you do that is you just kind of press up on this bar, and what happens then is that your backrest can go down. So I got to take my cushion off. These cushions come off, oops, just like this. They just Velcro on and off. And then you're going to see just the base frame. And what's really nice about this new Tylite is the backrest goes down way easier than my old wheelchair. So this bar comes up. Oops. As I say, it's easy. It doesn't work. Got to use my right hand. Use my dominant hand and it works. And then that backrest can fold down like that. So if you need to put it in the back of a vehicle or anything like that, it works pretty slick to fold the back down. Whereas my other chair, it was really finicky. I couldn't really get the back to fold down, so I really didn't touch it much. So that's a really nice feature, is being able to have that backrest be able to fold down pretty easily. And then it just pops back up just like that. And then probably the biggest change that I was most excited for, which you're going to say this is, a minuscule thing, very mini. Most people would never even notice this, is the camber of the wheels. And what the camber is it's actually like the slant of the wheels. So like on my basketball chair, and we'll throw in a picture of my basketball chair. I don't have it here right now, but my basketball chair, it's got super heavy camber, real heavy slant. And what that allows you to do is allows you to turn very, very sharply. Well, with this, if you were to have that camber in that, in this wheelchair, you wouldn't get through any doors. And so this one has zero camber. And what I mean by that is that there's a 0-degree angle from the wheels. The top of the wheel is lined up with the bottom of the wheel. And I don't know if we can see that on the camera, but that is a big deal because it actually makes me skinnier. I went from about 27 inches wide outside of wheel to outside of wheel to less than 25 inches wide. So I trimmed up a little bit, which is kind of nice. And, when you're going through tighter doors, that is a huge deal, being able to get into a room versus not being able to get into a room. So this is the new chair. I'm going to get some new wheels. They are going to come here in the next few weeks. These are just your standard wheels. I'm getting what's called Spinergy wheels. They look a little bit better, and there's less spokes, and they're a little bit lighter. So the wheel without the hand rim will be less than 1.5 pounds, which is crazy light. So those will be coming, but this is the new chair. Same backrest. I changed up the backrest just a little bit. I went from a 10-inch backrest to a 9-inch backrest to allow a little bit more maneuverability when I'm leaning back and stuff, which makes a slight difference. But yeah, this is it. The new Black Betty. She's a beauty, and I'm excited to use her. Some of the stories I have with my my other chair over there. I want to toss this back, Garrett. My old chair, we've been through a lot together. Like what this chair has seen. It's traveled the world. It's gone to Greece. We went over and played basketball in Greece. We went to the mountains of Greece. It's rolled on the streets of Athens. It has been to London, England. It has been up and down the subway station. It has been at a Premier League game, NFL games, Major League Baseball games. This thing went to Seoul, Korea with me. Went to Seoul, Korea. Did I say with me? I should have said without me. It didn't go with me because I didn't go to Seoul, Korea. I was on a flight from Dallas to Tucson. I was going home, and I get off the flight in Tucson, and they go, "Oh, your wheelchair, it's not here. They must have taken it to baggage claim." I said, "That never happens. Yeah, I always bring my wheelchair right up to the plane." And I said, "Oh, well, hop in one of these wheelchairs. We'll take you down to baggage claim." And so I did. I was just like, "Oh, maybe somebody made a mistake." And so I went down to baggage claim, and what do you know? My wheelchair is not there. And I'm like, all right, this is becoming an issue. And I remember the airplane, airport helper. She said to me, Hunter, we have good news and bad news. The good news is we know where your wheelchair is. The bad news is that it's on a flight to Seoul, Korea. And I remember, I remember looking at her being like, Seoul, Korea, what in the tarnation, what? And she said, yeah, when you were in Dallas, um, an airplane worker put the chair on the plane next to you, not on your plane, on the plane next to you. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, how does that even happen? Like, my chair is up on the jet bridge. All you have to do is go right under the jet bridge onto the plane. He put it on the chair, he put it on the plane next to me, and that plane just so happened to be going to Seoul, Korea. So it went to Seoul, it came back, and thankfully we got it back to Tucson in 3 days. But this chair has been through it all, man. We had some good memories. We've been running on a bum caster wheel, if you guys can see this. But this caster wheel right here, yeah, it should not be wobbling like this. So I I like to compare it to, like, we've just been playing on a bum ankle for the past 2 years. And so it's gonna be nice to have some ankle surgery and be able to play at full strength. But that is the big news as far as my mobility. It's kinda like getting I don't even know, kinda like getting a new car, maybe new shoes, like getting a new pair of legs. I don't know, whatever you wanna contribute it to, but, I'm pretty excited about my new chair. So that is the big news in my life. I've just got a couple things that I want to talk about today. I've got some notes here on my phone, and it's just gonna be a solo session with me today. And I've just got a few viewpoints that I'd like to share with you, and hopefully you can connect to some of them. But one thing that I love to do in summers growing up was go to camps and sports camps of all types. But basketball was my sport. And one basketball camp, I should say specifically, that I went to all the time was a camp called PGC, and that stands for Point Guard College. And PGC really prides itself in being a high level elite basketball teaching camp, but also it's not just about basketball, it's about leadership and really life skills. And I went to PGC 3 times in high school, and I've also gone as a coach multiple times, bringing my sisters. Um, but I really don't believe that there's a better overall basketball experience than at PGC. And I learned how to be not only a better basketball player, but a better person going to this camp. And just a quick story from PGC. I was going into my senior year of high school. It was that summer going into my senior year, and I had just got done with a full week of PGC, and so I am shot. My body is really down in the dumps because I've been busting my butt for a full week, and I was going to UND football camp. I had not committed to UND for football yet. I was just going to their camp. They had invited me, and so I went to the UND camp, and I remember I chugged water. Like, I just chugged water to try and get my weight up because I didn't want to be too skinny for them. I remember I weighed in at 218 pounds. Maybe that's a lie. I might have been less than that. But I weighed in. I know for a fact I was under 220. But I remember thinking to myself, like, I am going to get embarrassed here because I'm just so tired. And that fear of, like, you're the 9-man player, and now you're at the Division I school where your grandpa played at, that your mom played at, that's your home state school. Like, I felt pressure in that moment, and if I wouldn't have had that week of PGC leading up to it, that pressure might have caved me. Like, I might have just gone into my shell and just kinda hid and not gone out and been me and tried to make my environment better around me. But PGC changed it for me, and I went out there and I just decided I was gonna be the spark. and I learned everybody's name. In my group that I was in, we had the most energy far and away because I brought it out of people. I tried to pull it out of people. I was going to encourage every single one of my teammates, and not only that, I was going to get other guys to encourage them as well. I still remember my numbers. I ran over 5 seconds in the 40. I broad jumped 7 feet 10 inches. For those that know athletics, that is terrible. That is like, why are you even there? Um, my testing numbers were awful, but when it came to the one-on-ones, I did not lose a one-on-one. When it came to the competitive side, linebacker versus running back one-on-ones, I didn't lose a rep. That day I got offered by UND after broad jumping 7 feet 10 and running over 5 seconds as a tight end. I got offered a Division I scholarship. I also got offered by most of the Division II schools that were there as well. And it was solely because of my experience that week prior at PGC, learning how to be a leader. And so I was out speaking in Ontario a couple years ago, and I got to have dinner with the director and the CEO of PGC basketball. And his name is Mano Watsa. And Mano, he's a special person. He's really grown that company, and someday I hope that we can get him here and get him on the sit down. But he had a quote I saw on Instagram the other day when he was speaking that it stuck with me, and I want to share it with you, and we'll maybe tag the reel or somehow get you a link to the content I'm talking about here. But he had this reel, and it talked about how success is found. I think there's a lot of recipes on how to get there to success. You can get there a lot of different ways, but I thought Mono had a really, really interesting viewpoint on how success is bred. And I just like to share that with you. The quote was, "Success will be created by the beliefs you hold, the decisions you make, the habits you develop, and the people you spend time with. That is where success will be found." And if we break this down, which we will today, I think if we look at each individual piece, we start to see how those kind of fit together like a Lego. And you see how, okay, the beliefs, they lead to the decisions, and the decisions lead to habits, and habits, they lead to who we are every single day. Man, the people that we spend time with, they form us. Man, Coach Schwager, he would always say, you want to be a good doctor, hang around good doctors. You want to be a good football player, hang around good football players. The people that we interact with on a daily basis, man, you find the 5 most important people in your life that you're spending the most time with, there's a really good chance 5-10 years down the road, you're going to be a lot more like them than you will the people that you're not hanging out with. I mean, that's just a life law, I think. So I want to break this down today. I want to just look at it a little bit deeper, see if we can find some truth in it, see if we can connect with it a little bit, and hopefully we can leave here from today's podcast with a little bit deeper understanding on where we can find success. Success will be created by the beliefs you hold. We got to start there because I think Mano does a great job of explaining this, but the success starts with your beliefs. And the beliefs, Mano says it's like the operating system in the background, right? We're on our computers, we're on our phones, and we're doing all these things, but behind the scenes, there's a lot going on that are directing our actions, that are directing our decisions, that are directing what's happening in our lives. And that is your beliefs. Like what you believe, that is your choice, but what you believe shapes the rest of it. It's like your base. Like depending on what you believe, that's where your direction is going to be set. And the coolest thing about beliefs is that they're fluid. Like you get to choose what you believe in. And I talked about it on episode 3, but being curious is probably the best thing you can be in life. Like don't be good at something. Like above all that stuff, just be curious. Be curious. Be willing to learn. Listen to people, read books, always be open to change, because that's where your belief comes from. I'm a big fan of finding something that you disagree with, looking at it, maybe studying it, analyzing it, being open to it, and then allowing yourself to change. That's how growth is found. And if we just stick to the same beliefs throughout time, nothing ever would change. And Jim Tressel, Hall of Fame coach for the Buckeyes and also at Youngstown State, he had this great quote. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something to the extent of, everybody wants to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We said all the time at Youngstown State, if it ain't broke, break it. Because there's always a way to do it better. And I think that's what this start is like, man, if something is working, be open to allowing it to be better. Be open to changing your mind. It's okay. Just because something's good doesn't mean that it can't be great. But it'll only be great if you allow yourself to believe it. So I think that's great, man. That's a good start of where success is found, is in your beliefs. Then he goes on to decisions, right? He says, success will be created by the beliefs you hold and the decisions you make. Your beliefs lead to your decisions. And for me, I'll use my faith as an example, but I also use athletics as an example. I am a Christian. It leads to the decisions that I make. I go to church because I'm a Christian. I get poured into at church. I want to be a great athlete. I think athletics teaches us great things about life. It led to me deciding to play sports and then working on sports. It led me to go and lift weights. It led me to go and shoot baskets. It was a decision that I made. I have the choice, man. I talk about it all the time when I talk to groups. That is a truth in life, is that you have a choice. You live in the United States of America. You have a choice. It is your decision. You might not have a decision on what happens to you, right? Things happen to you that you don't have any control over, but you do have a choice on how you respond to it. That is your choice. And the decisions that you make lead to the life that you live. That's true. Infinite amount of decisions in your life. I wore a black cap today. Could have worn a red one. It's in my closet. I sat in this chair today. I could have sat in that chair. Would have changed the camera angle. Decision. I had tacos for lunch. I could have had a hamburger. Decision. All the decisions of your life make up what you're going to end up with. You have a choice. Your decisions then lead to the habits that you develop. And man, habits it's an amazing study, the formation of habits. I was in a study group. I still am. I lead a study group every month, and we looked at Atomic Habits, bestseller book. Garrett, have you read it before? You got to read it, man. Atomic Habits is an unbelievable book that I think everybody should read, because there is an amazing power in our minds that allows us to unlock life to a new level that he has now found the equation to. And Atomic Habits is amazing. A couple points, though, that I took from that book that I want to share with you. Number one is the power of 1%. Like, the power of 1% gets me excited. Now, I got told this in high school from my high school basketball coach, but he always would say, we want to get 1% better every day. You've probably heard that in your life too, right? I want to get 1% better every single day. I want to get a little bit better, and eventually those 1% stack up. Well, you know what? They do. I'm a math minor, so I'm going to get a little nerdy with you right now. But if you take 1.01 factorial 365, and we're going to put up a little thing on the screen. So for those that are watching, you're going to see the equation right now so that we're all on the same page. But if we get 1% better, 0.01, we take ourselves, we take 1%, 0.01, and we multiply that over 365 days by each other. Day 1, I'm at 1. Day 2, I'm at 1.01. Then I take 1.01 and I multiply it again by 1.01. I just keep getting better. I start stacking 1% over and over and over again. By the end of the year, over 365 days, I'm 37 times better. That's incredible. But that's just math. Like, I think so many people look at if I took a penny right now, I said, "You want this penny, Garrett? I flip you the penny. What are you going to do with that penny?" It's, like, it's not worth much. You compound that penny over itself for 365 days, you end up with $37. If I gave you $37 right now, would you take it? Yeah, that's paying for dinner and a little bit of gas. Man, the power of 1%. Can we get in the habit to be consistent? And I think a lot of times it's not even about your talent level. It's not even really about how good you are. It's how consistent you can be. The habits that you develop, which are formed by the decisions that you make, which are influenced by the beliefs that you hold. Quick example of how habits shape the direction of your life. I saw this example in the book, Atomic Habits, and let's say that we're flying out of LAX. All right, Anna? We're flying out of LAX. LAX is in Los Angeles International Airport. We're on a flight to New York City, John F. Kennedy, New York City International. We take off, and as we're taking off, we decide to reroute our direction by 3.5 degrees, just a few feet. We go from our direction to New York, we just go 3.5 degrees to the right, just a couple feet of our nose of the airplane moving. Instead of ending up in New York City at John F. Kennedy Airport, we're going to end up in Washington, D.C., hundreds of miles away, because we moved 3.5 degrees. And that just shows the power of 1%. Like, if we start in LA and we move 3.5 degrees, man, by the time we get to Vegas, it really won't show much difference. We might be a little off, but you're going to see it out of the airplane window. But you take the time it takes to get across the country, you take a year, you take 5 years, you take 10 years of your life, and that little change is now hundreds of miles between New York and Washington, D.C. That is a perfect example of life. Like, I've seen it in my life. You know, little changes that lead to big results. And it starts with getting out of bed. You know, because I think we've been there in times of our lives where it's like, man, I really just don't want to get out. I'd rather just stay in bed. And your 1% might be just getting out of bed. And then the next step is, I'm going to go outside every single day. Man, a lot of people that are going through trauma, that are going through hard times, you just want to stay in your room. You want to put the shades up. You want it dark. You want to be all alone. Maybe your 1% is getting outside and taking a deep breath. You start stacking 1% on top of each other. You got out of bed. You went outside. You breathed some fresh air. You got a little bit of sunlight. Maybe the next one is I'm gonna talk to a friend. I'm gonna give somebody a call. Now you're not isolating yourself. You're breaking out of that shell. 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. And eventually, at the end of the year, you look at your life, and at the start of it, you couldn't get out of bed. And now you look at your life, and then you've got all these people in your life. You're going to a group over for dinner on Tuesday. And then you've got Wednesday. You're going to church on Wednesday. And on Thursday, you're going to do a little trip up to the state park because you got a friend that wants to go hiking with you. And there's an adaptive. Look at your life. It's completely changed. And it all started with 1% getting out of bed the first day. It's amazing. Beliefs you hold, the decisions you make, the habits you develop, and lastly, he talks about the people that you spend time with. And I wanna jump into this, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately because this study group that I'm with, we we're really taking a deep dive into the relationships that are closest to us. And we looked at a couple different groups, and I broke it down into kind of three main groups. And we'll also put a picture of this so that you can kind of see the rings of friendship or the rings of relationship. And we've got this outer ring, which I like to think of, people that, we're probably talking to maybe once a week, maybe once every couple weeks, uh, and a couple group chats with them. You see them every couple months, maybe. Those are people in your outer circle. I think there's probably, if you really think about it, 12 to 20 people in your outer circle. Then you've got your inner circle, and inner circle looking at probably somewhere between 6 and 12 people. These are people you talk to every single week. Maybe it's not every day, but it's every week. Maybe it's 5 times a week. Maybe it's just 2 times a week. But it's people that you're very close with. You say, man, yeah, they're in my corner, right? And then you get down to the core of the circle. And I think the core is generally between 2 and 4 people. Of these are people you're with every single day. You're sharing life with these people. Maybe it's your wife. Maybe for some of you, your kids are in here. For those people that are of faith, it's your God. And it's like, that's the core of my life. I am sharing not only my life with them, but they are sharing their life with me. We are connected. And if we really take a look at that closely, I think it becomes very clear we spend way too much time with people that aren't very important. Like, I think if we really evaluated who means the most in our lives, and then we broke down a time chart of like, okay, wait a minute, he's in my core, but that's how much time I'm giving him. He's number 16 on my time allotted to him. What are we doing? Like, okay, my mentor, somebody that I look up to, somebody that I look at, I'm saying, man, someday I want to be just like that person, but I'm only giving you this amount of time down here. Like, you're not going to end up like your mentor if you're only giving him that much time. And it was a good practice for me to do, but also the group I was in of like, man, who are you spending time with? And not only who are you spending time with, but are you pouring into them? And I'd encourage you to maybe do the same thing, man. Draw out some circles, put down some names, and really, really analyze it. Like, am I giving my time to the right people? That's a question we can all ask ourselves. Because in the end, those people will help shape your success. Not only will they shape it, but like we talked about a couple episodes ago, you'll get to celebrate it with them. And that's the best part of life. Man, success without getting to share it with others, it's pretty empty. It's pretty empty. I want you to think of success in your life, whether it be winning a championship or getting a grade on your paper. What's best about that? Sure, there's the rush, the first 2 minutes, right? Scotty Scheffler talks about you win the Masters. The first 2 minutes are great because you accomplish it. And then it's like, all right, well, what's next? I want you to imagine you win a championship. You're holding up the trophy in an empty room. How much is that trophy worth? You go to a state tournament. You're holding the net. And all your teammates just walk off the court. You're just by yourself, holding the net by yourself. And the crowd just, nobody's looking at you. Nobody's smiling with you, hugging you, taking a picture. How much is that net worth? You're at graduation. You get your diploma. I did it. I accomplished this thing. Do you want to just go sit in your room alone? Like, to me, that seems pretty empty. No, man, I want to go out to dinner with my parents, the ones that push me, the ones that encourage me, the ones that held me accountable. I want to share this with them because it's not just my success, it's yours too. And that is the best part. That's the best part about success, is the people you get to share it with. So, man, I'd encourage you. Man, make some circles. Who's in your outer circle? Who's in your inner circle? Who's at your core? And are you giving them the time that they deserve? That's my challenge for you. Man, Mono Watsa, someday I want to have him on here, but man, he poured into me with that reel that I saw on Instagram. And I'll say it one more time. Success will be created by the beliefs you hold, the decisions you make, the habits you develop, and the people you spend time with. That's where success will be created. Man, let's get into something good I've seen this week. And something good is fall camp has arrived. College football is back, and I am a big fall guy. Like, this is getting released on August 20th. It is my birthday. So that is something good, but it is the gateway to the fall is the end of August. So I am just looking forward to a perfect 3 months, because September, October, November are my favorite months of the year. Bow season is almost upon us. I'm going on a bear hunt in a couple weeks. I'm excited about that. I've got my bow tag for North Dakota, so I'm gonna start getting in the stand and spending beautiful, not summer nights, but late summer, early fall nights in September in the blind. That is my good. College football games in the afternoon, sitting in a bow blind in the evening. I can't wait. So for all you football fans, all you Friday night football, Saturday afternoon college football, and then Sundays go to church and come home and watch the Vikings, I'm right there with you. Something good is coming. The beginning of fall is right here. So, Garrett, give me something good.
Just 20 minutes of moderate exercise boosts memory and brain function immediately. Yeah, interesting research. There was a 2019 study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. So you might ask yourself, what counts as moderate exercise?
Yeah, please.
Brisk walking, light jogging, biking at a casual pace, dancing, yard work, playing doubles tennis, water aerobics, light hiking. Just 20 minutes of that boosts memory and brain function.
That's really good. That's good to know. I'm a believer that dogs, best friends, but like they're helping you live longer too. Like, going on a walk with your dog is so underrated, because number one, you can create a connection with them, but number two is like you're getting good exercise. 20 minutes. That's it. Shout out to all the people that can't walk though. You can go on a push. All right. You can go on a push too. So go on a push and get in the pool too. Did you say water aerobics? Oh my goodness. Like, we're in the dog days of summer. It's beautiful. August is perfect weather, at least up here in North Dakota. Go get in the pool. Like, even if you're somebody with mobility issues, have somebody help you, throw your pride out a little bit. Go get in the pool. It feels so good to go swimming. So I love getting in the water, whether it be the lake or the pool. Swim around and have a good time. That's good. Something good. A little movement. Anna, you got something good for us?
You're putting me on the spot.
Putting me on the spot.
The band Michigander is something good.
The band Michigander. Can you spell that for me? Tough one to spell. Sound it out. She said, sound it out. Michigander.
I got it. Michigander.
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 Ding, ding, ding. Correct. It's like we're at the National Spelling Bee. Can you give me a definition of that, please? When is the National Spelling Bee coming? Somebody look that up for me. That is such an elite event. Watching the whole thing might get a little boring, but you watch the finals round of that, those kids are incredible. Gary, you got a date for me yet?
The last one was May 27th, 2025. So it must be.
So in May, late May. So we gotta wait 10 months for the next one. National Spelling Bee. I went to the county spelling bee, Ashley, North Dakota.
Did you guys have the geography bee?
No, but I would have done all right at that. I
Yeah.
love North Dakota
I
geography.
wanted one here and I know nothing.
One of these episodes, we're gonna need to do like I call it the geography game. And me and my girlfriend play this, but I get 10. You get to think of any city in the United States. It has to be over 200,000 people though, and I get 10 questions to figure out what city you're thinking of. It's pretty fun. We'll have to do it one of these episodes. Yeah. Not enough time today, but for next episode, remember this. Okay. The what did I call it? The geography game. The geography game. I like it. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on the sit down. Wherever you're at, man, you can get up now. Thanks for taking a seat. One more thing though. Like, subscribe, share. That helps us out. Man, just a little, take 2 seconds of your time, and this gets it out to more people, where more people can hopefully connect, and we can pour into their glasses, give them a little inspiration when they need it the most. So like, subscribe, share. That would sure help us out. Thanks, guys.